Good afternoon. My name is Dr. John Norton, and I will be your instructor for this summer's session of Themes in Literature online. Themes in Literature is a survey class running through a series of books that really kind of run the gamut in English American literature. I like this class. I like the texts. I've picked a few of my favorites. I hope you will like them too. Hopefully through the series of video lectures, I'll be able to draw out some important ideas and themes from these texts, and hopefully through that process, through those video lectures, I'll twist your arm into enjoying and appreciating these books too. Hopefully it won't be me that has to do that, but actually the authors themselves, which I believe they will. And again, my name is John Norton. I love all things Idaho, a little bit about myself. I love all things mountains. The irony is I'm right here in sunny Southern California, pretty far away from mountains and rivers and lakes. I'm not complaining. I do enjoy surfing and beach life as well, but my heart really is in the mountains, and I love that. I have 3 children, Jack, Naomi, and Sheffield. I have a beautiful wife of 16 years named Erica, and I've been at Concordia. I've been teaching at Concordia for over 10 years now. I've been a teacher for over 15 years, and so I've been at this for a while, and I like it. And like I said before, I really love books. Well, right here in this session, I want to welcome you. I hope you feel welcomed. And I also want to go through my syllabus with you a little bit, just to highlight a few things that are important and get us off on the right foot. In a normal kind of in-class class, or in-person class, I should say, I would go over this on the first day, and we'd have discussions and so forth. So I'll do this here, and hopefully this will suffice for you. If you look at the first page there, I have the purpose statement. Check this out. It says, the course is an introduction to various literary themes and critical approaches. Students will be asked to read and write thoughtfully about a variety of literary works. That is really how the class is structured. You're reading and you're writing. You're listening to my video lectures as well, and hopefully exploring some of your own interests as you read these books. Allow your interests to kind of guide some of your research, and some of that research and some of those interests can come back in papers and other writing assignments that you'll do for me that we'll talk about in a moment. I'll let you review the course objectives. The plagiarism line there, it's college. You know, any academic work you do needs to be your own. You don't want to plagiarize. And one of the ways we encourage people not to plagiarize is we have a thing called Safe Assign, and you'll be turning all your papers into this organization, or into this software system is what it's called, and it checks the web and so forth, and it's a good accountability design. So hopefully that'll keep us all honest and moving in the right direction. There's a disclaimer there. I normally don't change the syllabus, but just in case I get a wild whim, I might have to switch things up, but most likely that will not happen. Course requirements. Major writing assignment. This is the assignment that gets most of my students pretty anxious. But fear not, because I've got a couple of resources online here that will hopefully walk you through the process of writing a paper, and so that it shouldn't be too nerve-wracking. It shouldn't be too scary. But the major paper is 6 pages in length, pretty short. It's an argumentative paper, meaning you need to create a thesis of your own, an argumentative statement, a statement of opinion. We call that a thesis, right? Something that you can argue. As it says here in the syllabus, that is due July 26th of this summer at 3 p.m. I didn't write it. It's from a Missouri State, I believe it is. Their writing center has a really cool, has a bunch of great resources, and so I've tapped into some of them. Into some of those resources, and I've got some of those available for you on our Blackboard site. But they have a great one in there that goes over how to write a good paper, and it teaches you how to write a great thesis, how to put together your paragraphs. And so I've got a few articles on Blackboard, a couple of how-tos that I think are pretty important and helpful. All right, so if when the time comes you have questions or you're anxious about what to write about, I'm always available on email. If you're emailing me in the middle of the night, I probably won't get it. Unless I have insomnia that day, then I will answer it at 3 a.m. But otherwise, I'll answer it normally during business hours. And I'm happy to run over theses with you. Any kind of thesis ideas, I'll throw some at you if you're in need of that as well. Outside sources are not permitted. I don't want any outside sources in this paper. I want your own thoughts, your own ideas. And in this class, and in most all English literature classes of this style, you'll use MLA. Modern Language Association Guidelines. Another great resource for you as a student of literature is at a site called the Purdue Guide, or OWL at Purdue, the online writing lab at Purdue University. They've published this really great site that goes over everything MLA. And so for all your MLA formatting questions, you go to that site. And I have that on the website. I have that on the syllabus here listed for you. So you can click on that thing, explore that bad boy, and I think you'll enjoy that. It's very helpful. I think it's far better than going and buying the MLA book. Don't tell the MLA that I said that, please. Here I am on the web, of course. The second one here is the six thesis pages. A thesis page, as I've written here, is basically a statement of opinion, and I want you to write a thesis page after you finish each book. So what I want you to do is read the book, create an opinion, your own argumentative statement, something that can be debated. Here's a bad example of a thesis statement. I liked the book Tarzan. I can't argue that. I can't say, no, you didn't. Student, no, you didn't like that. You hated it, actually. We can't argue. It's your opinion. It's your belief. It's your feeling. What we can argue, what we can debate to some extent, is whether or not Tarzan is a racist. Edgar Rice Burroughs in Tarzan of the Apes presents a racist protagonist. Oh, now we got a fight. Now we have a debate that you can use ideas from the text to support your own idea. And we can have a great time at that. So that is a thesis. So what you're going to do for each book is you're going to write a thesis page. And as I've written here in your syllabus, a thesis page is literally just one page. You write the thesis at the top, and you argue that thesis for one page, double-spaced, Times New Roman, size 12 font. I've got it all on the syllabus here. But then at the end of the page, you just stop, and you don't go any further. Basically, the reason I like this kind of assignment is it gets you thinking, it gets you debating, it gets you making opinions and creating ideas about a book. And you'll do that for every book we'll read this semester. Another nice thing you can do, and former students have done this, and this is totally legitimate and encouraged, actually, is at the end of the semester when you go to write your argumentative paper, you can use one of those thesis pages for your thesis if you want. You can just pick up where you stopped in the thesis page earlier in the semester. I've also got some examples of good student thesis pages on the Blackboard site, so you can read those over. A couple students, a couple all-star students have written good ones there, and that'll kind of give you some ideas of what I'm looking for. The ones that I put on the web received full credit, so you can check those out. I don't want outside sources for this one either, and how to write a good paper, that article, will also help you with this, because there are ideas in the how to write a good paper article on Blackboard that I've put on there for you that will show you how to do a good thesis. Third one here is the Foster summaries. Foster's book is pretty interesting. How to read like a professor. I like this. It breaks things down and makes it pretty simple. He's got a lot of great points in there. How to read literature like a professor is the title. But I want you to do this. I want you to read the chapters that are assigned, and I want you to write a basic summary. That's basically it. Just basically keep you accountable. Include major details, key points, and terms. I mentioned before, you'll turn everything into a site called SafeAssign, and you'll find a link for each paper on Blackboard. For each text, you'll also have a quiz. There actually is a quiz each week, and you'll see a note for the quiz and a link to the quiz on each week's assignment. So you'll see that on Blackboard as well. The questions are 10-question multiple choice quizzes and so forth. There's a breakdown of the grades there. So here's the texts. All right, let me tell you a few things here. William Shakespeare, The Tempest. This is an awesome play. One of my favorites. A guy named Prospero and his daughter Miranda are stranded on an island, and he has the chance to wreak havoc on those who put him on that deserted island in the first place. He can get nasty revenge if he wants. It is within his control to have massive revenge on these really horrible criminals. What's he gonna do? What is the right thing to do in that situation? When you have that kind of power to wield what may seem like justice. It's a great play. Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus is the most brilliant man in Milan. I mean, the guy is crazy smart. He's so smart that he starts doing magic, and he can do all kinds of the craziest magic. He can transport himself. He can fly. He can see people from the past. But what does that kind of power do to a man or to a woman? What does that kind of power do to a person? I think Christopher Marlowe is asking us that question. What can power do to us? Is it always good? J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I know that's a surprise. You probably were shocked when you saw that on my syllabus. I think this is a great book. I think J.K. Rowling is a fantastic writer. And I have more defense for, what's the right term there? I have a better apology. I have a better apology for the choice of J.K. Rowling on the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter lecture that's online. So I'll wait for that. But needless to say, I love this kid, Harry Potter. He's a great protagonist. J.K. Rowling, fantastic writer. All kinds of things going on. Is this young boy a Christ figure? What is he doing? What is his sacrifice all about? Or is he just a little punk wizard? Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan of the Apes. I started using this text years ago. I stole it, actually. I stole the idea from UC Irvine. They teach it over there in their humanities core. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a fun book for a humanities core class. But Edgar Rice Burroughs attacks some really interesting ideas about the scientific age. What has the scientific age done to human beings? Has it added only, or has it taken away as well? That's one of his questions. I like this text. And you know the story. It's very different than the movie. So don't think that if you've seen the Disney movie, that sums it up. It's very different. It's much more complex. It's really a neat book and fun to read. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Nathaniel Hawthorne, what's the best way to put that? I mean, I love this guy. He's edgy. I think that's a great way to put it. He's an edgy guy who lives in a very Christian dominant society, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to call a spade a spade. That's a bit of a cliche. He's not afraid to call out hypocrisy when he sees it. And his willingness to do that has created some really interesting short stories. And so you're going to read 6 short stories by Nathaniel Hawthorne, all very well constructed, all very fascinating. I mentioned Thomas Foster, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I wish he would change the title. It's a weird title. Bottom line is, this guy goes through all the major ways we should be looking at texts. I suppose the book is approachable in its title, so I do like it. There is the Purdue University Guide I mentioned before. I have a link to that here. And then I have 6 articles in the Blackboard folder under an area called Course Documents. It's with your syllabus. The 6 articles are 6 that I've chosen, critical works about the books and the short stories you are reading. So hopefully you enjoy those as well. On those, you'll be writing article reviews. And an article review is basically a look at the argument and a look at several other elements that I have outlined in a special how-to on the Blackboard site. And so you'll do 6 article reviews. So you'll read the articles and write an article review about those. Again, more details on Blackboard under the how to write an article review. Hopefully that's all very clear. Looking at the syllabus here, I think it's all very clear as well. Of course, I wrote it, and so everything that I do seems clear to me, and that's the problem with communication, isn't it? But this is what we have. You go through this syllabus, you call me, and let me know. You let me know, sorry, you don't have to call, just email me. You email me and let me know if there's questions that come up. I'm happy to respond to those emails and bring more clarity where it is needed. But as I look over this right now, I think I've hit everything that I need to hit. For the paper, one last idea here. Week 7, you'll turn in a thesis statement. What you're going to write about. You need to figure out what you're going to write about for your major paper, your 6-page paper, by week 7. And you'll send that to me. Compose a thesis and submit it to me for approval. I want to make sure you get that thing right. If you have a bad thesis and you write a whole paper on it, your whole paper is going to be bad. And we don't want that. Week 8, you'll do a major paper outline. And the kind of outline I want, well, how about this? I have a how to write an outline on your Blackboard site. It's about a page long. Details and examples and so forth are on there. That's due week 8, and then your final paper is due July 26th, as I've already said. Then we have mission and goals of the university. I'll let you review those yourself. And at the end, the final page of the syllabus, that is where all of my lecture video links are. All right, so please go there and check them out, starting with The Tempest, and hopefully you enjoy those. Again, any questions, please send me those questions via email. I pray that God blesses you this summer, that you enjoy these texts, and that you are surprised by how much insight and new ideas come to you as you read this great literature. All right, all the best.